We do have something that's free for our audience for the next hour. Dawn, right?
That's right. So
I'm so excited. You have a very, very interesting story to tell.
I do. Now, this is a juicy story from a friend of a friend, and it's about something bizarre that happened to her. I'm going to tell you this story over the course of this hour, and then we'll hear from this anonymous person that we're going to call Sally from time to time to get a feel of what is going on.
So just buckle in, get some coffee, grab a Diet Dr. Peepers, and let's go. Where do you want to start, honey?
Let's start. Sally lived in Chicago in 2004.
Okay.
Now, these are the days before like internet dating and internet
2004,
apps.
yeah.
So this is like there isn't Tinder, there aren't apps to get on.
I was single in 2004, and I remember there was an online presence.
Yes.
But it took some work. It was not as ubiquitous as like swipe left.
Exactly. So people were meeting each other on Craigslist.
Oh, absolutely.
And she had recently broken up with a boyfriend that she really liked. And she was very smitten with him. He was British.
Oh, fun.
Okay.
Hello.
Now, at the time, she's like in her mid-20s. She's a cocktail waitress, and she's totally heartbroken over this breakup. She's just very, very sad. Have you ever had a bad breakup where you're like, I just need to move on quickly to someone else?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And also, even if it wasn't a bad breakup, I was like, bring me another. I mean,
Yeah.
especially at that age in my 20s, like,
Sure.
let's go.
Exactly. Okay, so since she dated a British guy, she was in love and loved the whole concept of being with someone foreign.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I totally understand. My first relationship was somebody from another country.
Right.
Yeah. So, and that's like a unique experience, right? Because, you have two cultures and two languages and just two sets of, approaches to dating.
Yeah. So it puts this veil of like, mystery over things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So she dated a British guy. And so once again, she is trying to date on Craigslist. So she kind of wanted to mess with people a little bit because this is a fun girl. She isn't somebody who's super serious.
So just to be clear, she already dated the British guy, and now she's going to Craigslist.
Yes.
After the breakup, which was sad because her Brit is gone.
That's
he went back to England. He, went back to his cheddar farm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so she wanted to meet someone foreign. So she put an ad on Craigslist that said, looking for a single person and must be European. Please attach your passport for verification.
Oh my God, she was like committed.
Yes.
That seems like super ballsy, but also like that's homework. Like that's a project. She must like a project, right?
She loves a project.
Like, I am going to create a scenario. You must play by the following rules. I am going to post this on Craigslist. She also must be a bit of a like just fun.
Yeah.
Like, let's see what we can do with this. Because I think most of us would be like, I'd love to date somebody, British or whatever, but
no, she's going to go for it.
Okay, so she does that.
She's going to go for it. Yes. She also said she needs a passport for verification because
that's next level.
Quote, I can hear a fake accent a mile away.
Okay. I mean, hey, look, she knows what she wants.
She was sort of joking about the passport thing. So she didn't think anybody would reply.
She didn't think anybody would reply. Like, well, what did she was this kind of a goof?
Kind of a goof, but she was sort of wanting it to happen.
Like something you're sitting around with your friends and you're like, you know what? I want to date another guy from Europe. So, and you better have a passport. Not thinking that people would actually bite.
Yes. So she ended up getting like 4 guys who sent her uploaded pictures of their passports. Okay.
Wow.
Which if the story ended there, it could be weird enough. Okay.
Oh, for sure.
Now, here is a clip of Sally about how she feels when she gets these responses.
Okay.
Like 4 guys responding to me and sending me photos of their passports, which
you asked for it.
That if the story ended there, I mean, who are these idiots who are sending me their passports, their actual passports? I mean, who knows who I am, what I could have done with that, Anyway, one of them was Australian and the other one was British.
Okay. One's Australian, one is British.
Also, I do feel like it's before the time of us being like super hyper paranoid.
That's right.
Like, I don't think it's that unusual that in 2004 people would upload, because it wouldn't have been everywhere on the internet because nobody knew how to do that. So
which that comes up later.
Okay, all right.
Digging around on the internet isn't as big of a thing at the time. So who should she respond to, the Australian or the British guy?
Oh, I don't know. I'm going to say the Brit because I'm just a serious, like lover of all things British.
Yes.
So.
All right, Mike.
Also, it's closer.
Yeah, let's do the British guy.
British guy. Okay. Well, she ended up talking to both.
Okay.
Now, the British guy was really wanting to meet up, but the Australian guy wanted to see a lot of photos. He wasn't.
Well, yeah, he gave her his passport. He's like, I want to see what. Hi, turnabout is fair play.
Yeah, so he was sort of soft-spoken, the Australian guy. They talked on the phone a lot, but he was not really open about revealing too much about himself. And they were going to meet up, but then he canceled once, and she wasn't even sure if he actually lived in Chicago. Okay, it felt sketchy, and
This is the Australian.
He always seemed like he was like, there was background noise, like he was getting on the train. So he's using the time to commute and then also talk to her, which she also thought was sketchy.
Well, I've got some sketchy thoughts. Do you want me to not reveal my sketchy thoughts?
No, please.
Like, he's totally got a relationship going on, and he is using the time when he's away from his wife or girlfriend.
Well,
but that's my
right. So she wasn't sure if like if he was using his free time commuting, and he wasn't very open about what he did for a living. So she just was like, okay, this guy's not really making moves, and it's more work for me than I would like it to be. So the British guy really wanted to meet up with her, and we'll call him Sam Smith for the sake of this story. And Sam wanted to actually meet her in a public place. So after about a week of talking to both of them, she decided to meet up for a drink. But then she was having second thoughts. And my question to you is, should she go out with Sam?
I said that I would go on the date. Did she actually go on the date with the British guy?
She did.
Okay.
She did.
Well, I hope so. Otherwise, the story's going to end real quick.
This would be a short story.
So she doesn't know, just to be clear, she has seen his passport, and that is all.
That's all. She hasn't talked to him on the phone. She is wanting to mingle.
Oh, they didn't even talk on the phone?
No, she doesn't talk to him on the phone.
Oh, okay.
So she made sure to meet him at a bar, at a place that wasn't close to her apartment.
Smart.
Because she didn't want him to follow her
Hopefully
home.
she told some friends.
She's single. She's living in Chicago in 2004. She lives alone, so she's trying to be careful. So you never know who you're going to meet on the internet, right?
Oh, yeah, that's true. I mean, I remember going to meet people that I chatted with on, chat rooms in like the mid 1990s.
Yeah.
And I would go to random places.
Yeah.
To meet people that
I'm in public, it's fine.
That I didn't even know what they looked like until, oh my God, the things we did. Okay, anyway, back to 2004 Chicago.
Okay, so she decided to tell him where she wanted to meet him, and she picked a place that was like this historic bar. It's a place where like young professionals go.
Okay, so a neutral space.
Neutral space, but also it's not like a pub, okay? It's not a dirty old pub, and it isn't Applebee's. So it's like,
okay,
you're talking about like people have come from work. They look professional.
Yeah.
They are looking like they have
You're
jobs.
setting this, you're painting a picture, which makes me think something very interesting is going to show up.
Okay, so she's getting nervous now. She tells him,
I'll be wearing a red carnation in my pocket.
She said, I'll be wearing a red dress.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what you do before the internet.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. I'll be wearing a red dress because I don't think that the only cell phone she has is like a BlackBerry or something. It's like minimal texting.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it's not like here I am on the train where you're doing videos and all that kind of stuff. This is 2004. So she said, I'll be wearing a red dress and
which really just, then you could have done a whole romantic comedy about him meeting another woman that was wearing a red dress and they end up falling in love. And then this first one, anyway, go ahead.
Yes. Okay. So people were more trusting back then. This wasn't the time where you like thoroughly vetted someone. You're not on Spokio. Right. You couldn't. That's
Spokio.
You're not the.
Is that a thing?
Yeah. It's a sleuthing website. Okay. So she gets to this bar And good news, he's not late. He's already there.
How
Sitting
does
at the
she
bar.
know what he's? Well, because she's seen him in
She's
the
seen his
passport photo.
passport photo.
Okay.
So she recognized him right away from his passport photo. Now he looks a little different because we know passports are like 10 years,
Oh my God.
How do you feel right now?
I'm really uncomfortable because it's that moment where she's now wearing a red dress, so she can't run away. So this would be dangerous. Like what I would have done if I were to redo this, I would have my red carnation and I wouldn't put it in my lapel until I saw what he looked like. Because she's going to walk in a red dress and instantly he knows she can't run away is my point.
That's right.
So if she sees grizzled version of Passport Man.
Yeah. Yes, this
she's
British
out of luck.
guy, okay? She recognized him right away. He looked a little skinnier and a lot rougher than she expected.
Skinnier and rougher. Okay.
Okay, so in the early days, maybe 10 years ago from his passport, he was more built. He looks like he's been through some rough times. Now, he does not see her. He's sitting at the elbow part of a bar.
Okay.
So she has come in and seen his profile and seen this is the guy.
Okay.
Okay. Now, most people in this bar are in business attire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, what is he wearing?
It's not a tourist
You said rougher.
stop. Most people are coming from work. Do you want to know how she described him?
Yes, I do.
Okay, let's hear the clip.
Okay.
I could tell right away that this was not the guy for me. He kind of seemed like the sort of British guy who gets in like bar fights. And he was just real rough around the edges, this guy.
Oh my God. What does rough around the edges mean?
Well,
like, is he just sitting there brooding like, or is he like, what was it about him that made her think he was rough?
Okay, so his looks are different than the picture. He looks rougher. Somebody who's not.
What does that mean? Like unshaven?
Unshaven. His
Ill-fitting
hair
clothes.
is super short, like a crew cut.
Okay.
And in the passport photo, he had more of a styled haircut. And he's unshaven. He has a neck beard. He's wearing dirty tennis shoes.
Okay.
Now, remember, everyone's in business attire.
Yeah.
Adidas track pants with a red stripe on the side.
Ooh.
And a black tank top with chest hair.
Oh, my God.
That's train spotting.
That's when you turn around and leave. And this is your one chance. And I know she's not doing this because we still have the rest of this hour to talk through this story.
Okay.
So I can only imagine where it's going. But if there was a chance to change history.
Right. So would you stay or would you leave?
To be quite honest with you, the old me in 2004 would stay.
That's right.
Because I would have felt obligated and I wouldn't want to hurt that person's feelings.
Right.
And I would have a miserable time and I would feel like I shouldn't be here.
Are you Sally?
Am I Sally?
Are you Sally right now?
I've been through that experience where you show up and you're like, okay, this is going to be friend zone.
Yeah.
But hey, maybe you got a new friend. I don't know. This is when I start peddling around my optimism. I mean, it could be a great friend. Maybe he's got a hot other friend.
You never know.
You never know.
Right. Okay, so she turns to leave.
Oh, so she's going to leave.
Yes.
Okay.
Also, she notices
he's like,
whenever he turns around that he has a rat tail.
No.
He has the shaved head and a rat tail.
No.
Okay.
No. Okay. I'm
She
out.
turns to leave.
Of course she does.
He yells out at her.
No.
Oi, Sally, is that you? I think it's you. It's Sam.
Oh, I can just feel her body tense up. She turns around like,
yeah. So she wants to leave, but she can't just. She wasn't close enough to the door to make a break for it. She really wants to, though. She knows right away she's not interested.
She could have.
She tried to leave.
Better souls would have found the energy to just keep walking and never look back. But something tells me Sally is just too good of a person.
That is, I think you're right about that. And we have to remember, like you said, in 2004, we didn't have a bunch of options to meet people. It wasn't like you could just go back on Tinder and literally meet somebody.
Well, also,
the
it was
next
kind
day.
of sketchy to like be looking for people online. I won't say
Right.
sketchy. Well, because I was one of those people, but I know that the popular culture was still very skeptical of people who did this. Like,
yes,
even
which is why she hasn't told any of her friends.
oh, Sally, girl, just send them the podcast. Okay, so Sally is literally frozen in her
She's
tracks.
frozen in her red dress.
And she's like, I can't away myself.
Yes.
But wants to.
Wants to.
Because there's a rat tail
In her
inching
future.
closer. But, again, she could just think, you know what? I'm going to have a nice drink and I'm going to say nice things and then I'm going to leave and never see this man again.
Yes. So she says, now based on looks alone, she'd already decided that he's a little too rough for her taste. Okay. And so they sit down and he actually offers to buy her a drink, which she didn't expect.
That's sweet.
So she gets a glass of wine and he suggests that they move from the bar and sit at a booth for more privacy.
Okay.
She doesn't really know what to talk about. During the date, she asks.
I've been on. I mean, tell me you have not been on this awkward date before.
It's so awkward because they're kind of just looking at you a lot and sizing you up and licking their lips and, just like,
licking their lips.
She didn't say he did that, but he was really obviously interested in her. Okay. Now the dress, it wasn't like sexy, but it was like, a red dress. It was a flirty dress you would wear like
that's
to
a bold
party.
move for a first date. I
but
will
it's
say.
2004. You know what I mean?
No, I don't.
Okay.
What do you mean?
I think that in 2004, people were more into like, if you like pina coladas or getting caught in the rain. They were into like, I'm going to wear a red dress. She recognizes, she knows it's cheesy. So you can feel free.
I'm still over here with like, why are we doing the pina coladas?
Oh, that's a song about two people that meet up.
And just do it?
A guy puts out a personal ad. Have you ever listened to the song?
No, I guess I've never listened to the actual lyrics.
Oh my
I just
gosh.
know it's about pina coladas. What, Mike?
I said it's great. Rupert Holmes, yes.
Rupert Holmes. You got to listen to it. You'll laugh.
Okay. So she's doing the pina colada song.
So during the date, she asks, how did you come to this country? Did you come here for college?
Okay.
Now he laughs pretty obnoxiously, like people turn around and look at him.
Oh, God.
Okay.
So he's got an awkward laugh.
He does. And she
a rat
also
tail.
notices whenever he does that he's missing a few teeth.
Oh. I mean, look, everybody's on a dental journey.
That's true. He doesn't seem like, it seems like they might have been knocked out at some point.
Well, you made him sound, she even says he's rough around the edges.
And he is somebody who would get in a bar fight immediately when you look at him.
See, this is exactly why whenever biatches complain about the internet and everything we have to deal with today, just be grateful you're not doing a courtesy first date with a guy that has no front teeth and a rat tail that you thought was something else because you had to upload a photo internet of his passport.
Yes. So,
I mean, I'm just saying there are some benefits to the world we live in now. The swiping isn't as bad as I think we thought. Okay, carry on.
So, and also they aren't his front teeth that are knocked out. So he has one over to the side.
Okay. Well,
and then another one on the bottom that is knocked out.
All right.
Okay. So he laughs obnoxiously because remember, she just said, "Did you come here for college?"
And he's like, college?
Yes. He goes, college ain't for me, but that's nice of you to think that.
Okay. So he really is an extra from EastEnders.
Yes. Okay. Now, he says that his ex-wife is American. Okay. So
he came to this country
here
with his ex-wife.
Yes. And now she is like, okay, I'm not going to press any further because I don't really want to get into somebody's ex and their
that's
past.
Like the best thing to do on a first date is like, why did you break up with your ex-wife? No. No.
Exactly. She stays on the date because, like you said earlier, she feels like, hey, I might meet a new friend. You never know. just meeting people. She loves to travel.
Today, people would be like, I might get murdered, so I'm out of here. Like, again, back then, I feel like we just cut everybody so much slack because
we're innocent.
Yeah, like just, you never know. I mean, what's the worst that could, it's fine.
And
We didn't
plus-
spend, like 6 weeks watching the ID channel nonstop.
Totally true. Yes. So she's thinking he doesn't know where I live. He just has my phone number. Okay. After a couple hours, they end the date. She takes the train in the other direction
Okay, good.
on purpose.
Good girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that turns
Created a
out to
diversion.
be a very good decision.
Oh no. Why?
How do you feel right now?
I'm scared because a very good decision means, like, coincidentally, she found out later that he lived right next door to her.
Okay. So then after the date, he texts her right away because, they have like just a texting phone that you
Yeah.
have to go ABC,
I know,
blah,
and
blah,
it takes
blah.
forever,
Right.
and you're like, oh gosh, I got to go back. And
So
delete.
he texts her right away. She doesn't answer. Then he obsessively
no,
texts her
no,
and messages her.
Nope.
He would not leave her alone.
Ugh.
He would text her all day long.
Like, what is he texting? Do we have an indication?
I think he was texting her to ask her out again. When are we going to meet again? You looked really great. I really want to get to know you, but in a way that's creepy.
It is so. And even if somebody's not doing it 100 different ways,
Yeah.
I remember that feeling of like you get that text and you're like, I have to ignore this text. Otherwise I can't keep encouraging this because otherwise they're going to think I'm interested and it's not fair. So I should just not respond.
But here's the thing. Ghosting really wasn't a thing back then. All right. It wasn't really a thing where people just do it now left.
I feel
and
like,
right.
Okay. Maybe it's more so a thing now.
She wanted to kind of give him the cold shoulder. So every 10 texts, she would maybe go, haha, that's funny or whatever.
Yeah. Like just not engaging, just being like, hello.
Then she tells him eventually, I can't go out with you anymore. I'm just not interested. I'd
so
like
she's
to be
firm.
more than friends. She
good.
finally wants to put a stop to it.
Oh God, and she's even allowing friends because that's the thing where you're like, we can just be friends, and you're like, but I don't even want to be friends. Because let's be clear, if you wanted to be friends, there might be some chances.
Yeah, that's right.
Go on.
Then one day,
oh no,
she gets an email from someone.
Oh God, someone.
The email doesn't have she doesn't know it. It's just a series of numbers or something. It says, how do you know Sam Smith?
Oh God.
His wife and children want to know.
Oh God. So he's still, he's still married.
Oh, he's married. Now, should she message this person back, meet up with this person? What do you think is happening?
Okay, well, first of all, I feel like I've now stepped into somebody else's drama.
Yeah.
I am now an ancillary character in their family issue.
Yeah.
And I want to remove myself. But again, there's also a part of me that is a little...
You don't know who this is?
I want to understand what's actually happening. Like, I feel like she's going to involve herself in a way that she's going to probably regret.
Right. That's a good instinct because she does not email back the mystery person.
Oh, okay.
She contacts him.
No.
And says,
no, you. Oh.
Mike,
but I
how
guess.
do you feel?
Well, wait a minute. No, I'm arguing with myself
Okay.
because I do think it's dangerous because you don't know that woman or that person. It's just an email.
Yeah. So she didn't email the person back. The person, you don't know if it's a man or a woman or who it is.
Okay. So I guess I could understand then just going like, hey, what's this all about? And seeing how he reacts to that.
That is what she did.
Okay.
So she contacted him. She said, I got this email from this random person. This is what it said. It looks like you're married with kids. You lied to me about being divorced. I never want to talk to you again.
Oh.
I don't want to talk to you. I already told you I didn't want to see you again. And now this. So back off, lose my number. He tries to explain it away, saying they weren't together anymore, and she's just jealous, and she's trying to stop him from moving on with his life.
She's finally getting it. Just go. Run.
Right. Run! Well, she doesn't hear from him again for about a month, and it looks like she's dodged the bullet.
Okay.
The next thing that Sally knows, she gets a call from her friend Karen. Now, Karen is somebody she met while teaching English overseas because Sally is bilingual, okay? Karen's very smart. She has a great job. She's actually a translator for the Chicago courts for people who are going through domestic violence cases.
Oh, God. Dawn.
Are you scared?
Yes, because how the heck is Karen coming across
Karen calls her. Okay.
Out of the
she
blue.
did not call. Didn't tell anybody that she put an ad on Craigslist looking for.
So Karen doesn't
guy.
know the history.
She does not.
She doesn't know that she walked into
a hellscape,
like a true crime podcast.
That's right.
Yeah.
So she opens the message. Karen says on the phone this, and here is Sally herself saying what Karen said.
Okay.
Okay. Here it is.
Do you know a guy named Sam Smith? And I was like, ugh. I'm like, first of all, why is Karen calling me, asking me about this guy? Like, I didn't tell anybody about this dude. And I was like, yes.
Oh, God.
I went on a shady date with him, and then I never wanted to talk to him again because apparently he was married. And she goes, well, your name came up today in court.
No! What?
I was like, what? Apparently, this dude was in court for domestic violence against his wife.
Oh my God, but why?
And then I came up as part of the defense or whatever, saying that he had been having an affair.
Ugh!
And I guess my name and email came up as in the testimony.
Oh my God, no.
And Karen was like, what? I know her. Again, if the story ended there, that would be enough.
No, where can it go next?
She gets really freaked out knowing that her name has been read aloud in court.
Yeah, and her friend is calling her like, hey, your name just came up.
Yeah, aloud in court. She was feeling very vulnerable. Now, the internet wasn't good enough yet where you could like do a reverse phone number and find people at the time. This was like early 2000s.
And also, we weren't that paranoid.
Right. Now, she also happened to be
smart.
Working at a very nice hotel restaurant on Michigan Avenue.
Okay.
Okay. She's a cocktail waitress. So one night she's working. It's been about a month since her name was mentioned in court. Okay.
Yeah.
She looks outside.
Oh, God.
And sees.
No. The guy.
Someone standing under a streetlight late at night.
Oh, God.
Staring into the restaurant.
No! Is it him or is it his wife?
It's a person standing under the streetlight.
Mike, who do you think it is?
I don't want to know. I'm terrified.
Are you scared, Mike?
Yes.
You're scared.
They're waiting out there for...
Yeah.
Okay, so...
This is when you have a friend walk into your car.
It's like a movie. It's like Alfred Hitchcock. There's a streetlight and it's like a person
and you just
standing
turn
just
and there's
staring
somebody
in.
with a cigarette hanging out of their mouth, staring at you.
So she runs to the back. She isn't sure if it was a male.
But the person is staring at her. That's what's got her so creeped out.
No, the person is staring into the restaurant, but she isn't sure if the person saw her.
Okay.
She had no idea how, if it was him, whether or not.
But she's on edge.
She worked. She doesn't know how he found out where she worked. Well,
she also doesn't know how her name ended up in a court case that her friend happened to be a part of. So
yes,
I understand
she hadn't talked about that. She's so terrified. So she runs to the back. This is a guy, once again, who was in court for beating up his wife.
Oh, God. This is so terrifying.
It might have been because she was thought to be his lover and the woman got mad. She's scared. She doesn't know. Okay. So she goes in the back to find this other, the hostess, and says, or another person working there. And she has to admit this crazy story to this coworker.
She's like, look, we don't have any time. I went on a crazy date with a guy and he had some problems and here we are. And I think he's outside under a lamp.
Yes. She's like, can you please take over my tables? I'm going to stand back here and knock them out. Can you imagine your friend?
Okay, fine. I feel like if you work Michigan Avenue, you've heard crazy stories before.
So she stays back there and she's doing whatever server duties she can to help this person. So the person she has to take her tables comes back and says this. Here's a clip.
He called this restaurant and he asked if you work here. He called and he said, I know that works there. Is she working there tonight? And my friend said, oh no, she's off. She's not working here tonight.
Oh, thank God for the quick thinking friend.
That's
Oh,
right.
thank
So
God.
it was Sam Smith.
Because
the
I would be
guy.
the idiot who's like, oh, yes, she's here. You want to come down? You want me to get her on the phone?
Yeah, exactly. So she's terrified. She doesn't even want to leave. So
of course.
she
I don't blame
convinced-
her. I'd
so-
hide in the fridge.
That's right. So she got a male coworker who was one of her friends,
Yep.
one of the other waiters, to walk her home, get on the train with her and walk her up to her door every night.
Smart.
For a couple of weeks.
Oh, God. Poor thing.
He would ride the train with her.
That's so nice.
She's terrified every night.
I'm sure.
She wants all the tables in the back of the restaurant so he can't see in. She's afraid he's going to come in.
Yeah. Rightly so.
Yes. So
this is real paranoia.
I mean, even the dude was scared. Like he was like, I hope I don't get
of
clunked
course.
over the head. Right. All right. So this is when she does know what's going to happen. So this is when her guardian angel steps into her life.
Like a real guardian angel?
Well,
or like a police officer?
No. And do you think, like, would you call the police at this point? Because I asked
I don't know.
her this
I mean,
as well.
I honestly, I'd like to hope that I would, that the younger version of me would, but I feel like I just would be so naive and like, oh, it'll be fine. It'll all just blow over. We just have to like, it's fine. Everything's fine. I would not have been good in a situation like this 20 years ago.
Okay, so here comes her guardian angel.
Okay, who's her guardian angel?
Karen calls again. Karen, once again, works with the court. She's a translator in the
So Karen's
Chicago
seen
courts.
some stuff, and I trust Karen. I feel like Karen's going to make some stuff happen.
That's right. I want to remind you that they're both bilingual, okay? So Karen calls, and she says, hey, I have this job that I would really love to take, but I can't take it. You'd have to completely change your life. I was offered a gig at a really good English teaching school, and it starts in 2 weeks. So you'd have to break your lease. You speak Spanish. This is perfect. Do you want to move to Spain?
Oh, God. So she has a chance to like get the heck out of Dodge. Bye.
Do you want to
Or should I
move?
say, hasta la vista, baby. I'm out.
Do you want to move to
Yes,
Spain
of
for a
course
year?
Of course I do.
Oh!
Dawn, I don't need a guy chasing me to move to Spain for a year.
You're going to find the money to get out of your lease, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
2 weeks, change
You know
your
what I
life,
would do is I'd go to
move.
my property owner and say, there's a guy that's been following me for the last 2 months and I got a job in Spain. Can I leave?
Right. So
I mean, they
you want to
probably
know
will
what
still charge
happens.
you,
It's
yes.
a big change. All right, here we go. This is what happens.
And then I left for Spain and I never had to worry about him again.
Oh, God.
But yeah, I wish I could remember his name so I could see if he's in prison now.
Yeah, maybe.
So the moral of the story here is don't ever try and meet somebody on Craigslist.
Yeah, well, I think that's a good idea, Sally. Also,
Very
I really
good.
want, I don't know about you, Mike, but I want the end of the story to be like after we did this story. No, I don't. I mean, you could just see this movie getting
Absolutely.
creepier
This is a
and
real
creepier.
life story, though.
Yeah,
This
I'm
is
so glad
an
that she-
acquaintance of mine. Yes, she is fine. She moved to Spain. She had the
Oh,
time of her
God.
life.
Don't you just love the universe opened up a door and kicked her right over to Spain so she wouldn't have to think about that ever again?
That's right.
Oh,
How
Dawn.
do you feel? Do you feel like you need like
Well, I was like, I don't
some
know how.
anti-inflammatory medicine?
I felt like he was going to have to go to prison because I didn't know how else this was going to end, right,
She doesn't
Mike?
know.
Yeah, I was the same. Like you said, would you have called the cops? Yeah, I think I would have. I would have been like, no, he's standing outside the window waiting for
I
me.
hope I would do that.
I
but
don't know.
I don't know. A 20-year younger version of me,
That's
again,
right.
just felt like, I don't know. I wouldn't have had the wherewithal to like, get the gumption to make that happen. But wow, your friend, oof.
Sally.
Gosh, can you imagine? Like, have you ever been on a blind date? Let me tell you a story.